Hello, my name is Davina Vitadin and I'm a student at Southern New Hampshire. So in this video we are going to explore how the government of the United States operates, and this will help us to be like good citizens, because if you want to be a good citizen you have to know how your government operates. So in this video I'm going to show you different people that I've interviewed about what they know about the United States government, and later I will be correcting them and giving more information about the United States government. Hello. Hello. Uh, Today is on 3rd October 2018, and my names are Davina Vitadin. I'm a student in Bachelor's of Arts with College for America at Southern New Hampshire, and I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in the project that I'm working on called Government and You, and that project is under a goal called and the project, the goal is called Contribute to the Society. The interview will be used to create a deliverable, a video deliverable, and it will be submitted at College for America, and it will be used for solely that purpose. Do you give your consent?
Yes, I give my consent.
So I'm starting with you. Repeat what I say. I
I, Muriel Shimi,
give my informed consent
give my informed consent
to participate in this interview,
to participate in this interview,
to be recorded
to be recorded
and used as part of the student academic work.
and used part of academic work, student academic work.
I
José Sarah,
give my informed consent
give my informed consent
to participate in this interview,
to participate in this interview,
to be recorded
to be recorded
and used as part of the student academic work.
and used as part of student academic work.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions about the United States government. As you know, so as to be a good citizen, an active citizen, you have to know how your government operates. So the first question is, what are the three branches of the government? Like, do you know the branches of the government?
Yes, I do know one branch of government which is called legislative government. For me, I only remember one which is called judiciary.
Okay. So you only know those two branches. And what does those branches that you have mentioned, like what are their roles, or what do they do in the government?
So the legislative government branch, it does only about setting rules and regulations the citizens must follow.
Do you know any role of the branches?
I don't have more information about this branch.
So, and you know, in the United States there are two main parties. The one is the Democrats Party, and the Republican Party. So I want you to name one other party that you know in the United States.
I don't know any.
Okay. United States. You don't know any party. So, and the last question is, do you know the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? Or you don't really know what happens? You don't really know. And what about you? You also don't
I
know.
don't know.
Okay, thank you for your time, and thank you for giving me the information. So, those were the answers that some of the people that I interviewed said, but unfortunately, they didn't have the most or the crucial information about how the United States government operates. So I'm going to provide enough details about the question that I have asked them. So to start with the first question, what are the three branches of the government? We mainly have three branches of the government, which is executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judiciary branch. So, in the executive branch, like the person who leads or who has the main power in the executive branch is the president of the United States. Like the president is the head of uh, the executive branch, and the role or what they are in charge of in the executive branch is making sure that they set laws. Making sure that the laws that have been set are uh, being being put that laws are put into action. And the second branch is the legislative branch, and this branch is more its role is to set different laws that the citizen or the government should follow. And the third one is the judiciary branch, which is composed of court, and it deals more with justice. Like its role is to make sure that people who don't put into action the laws are subjected to different penalties depending on the law that they have violated. And then, uh, how do these three branches cooperate or relate? Taking an example, for the executive branch, to make sure that they they do their role, like they make sure that the laws are being put into action, they first need to consider or to check all the laws that the legislative branch has set, and then from there, after knowing what all the laws that have been set, they can go back and make sure that people in different organizations or the government are is putting into action those laws. And for the judiciary also, they need to cooperate or to make sure that they work with the executive branch so as to set different penalties that they can be subjected to people who don't put into action the laws as they are. So the third question was, the third question was, um, Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name a third party? So to start, in the United States, there are two major parties, which is the Democrats and Republicans. And the third party is known as, it's not a party as such, but it is like it combines all the minor parties which can be found in the United States. Examples of those parties include the Green Party, the Reform Party, and other different parties. And those minor parties or the third parties also affect the government or different decisions that are being taken. For instance, they also participate in elections or voting. They also give different ideas, like they give out ideas so that they can contribute in making decisions and for the development of the country. Then, so in total, the minor party, like all the minor party in total are 52, and they are represented as the third party. So the fourth question was, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? So to define a bill can be defined as a proposed law, or a drafted law, but which is not yet approved to be a law. So that's what a bill is. So for a bill to be to be com- to become a law, it has to pass through different processes, which are about 9 or 8. And the first process is the bond process. The bond process is where they suggest or they draft that bill, like depending on the situation or depending on what citizens need or what needs to be improved. From all those, they draft a bill that needs to be transformed or approved as a law. So the people who are in charge of like proposing those bills are sponsors, and sponsors, their main role is to to draft or propose those bills. Um, the second step is the subcommittee review. So in the subcommittee review, this is where bills are, they come from the sponsors to the committee, and the committee are there to judge if, like, they evaluate the bill and they judge if the bill has to go forward or it don't really need to go through other steps. And the purpose of the committee or the law is to decide and examine the proposed bill and decide whether it has to continue or to continue to other steps or it has to be eliminated. And the next step is all about committee action and report bill. After receiving the subcommittee report on a bill, the full committee votes. This is where, like, the full committee votes, people, those who have for who are agreeing that the bill has to be confirmed or approved as a law, and others vote maybe they disagree. So in the fifth step, this is where the whole committee come together and vote. So after voting, there is the next step, which is the referral to other chambers. So after voting, when the bill, like when the big percentage approves that the bill has to be approved as a law, that bill is transferred to other chambers. In other chambers, they debate about the bill. Maybe they can debate what is the consequences of the bill. I mean, the bill, once it will be approved as a law, or what is the benefits, and they balance. And the next step, which is more of the final step, like after debating and realizing that maybe the bill has more importance or positive impacts than the negative impacts, there is this final step, which is the final action. Um, this is where, after both House and the Senate had approved a bill, it goes to the president. He's the one to sign. After he signed the bill, the bill automatically becomes a law. And if he don't approve or if he don't sign, the bill can't be named as a law. And then we have seen that it's always good to make sure that you know different ways or different how the government operates. And another thing is, uh, one can ask him or herself about the two democratic parties, like when did they start and how did they start. So long time ago, the Republican and the Democrat Party were one party. They were together as one party. And in 1828, Andrew Jackson, a Democratic Republican from Tennessee, was elected as the president of the party. So from at that time, Jackson changed the name, because before, when the both parties were joined, they were named as Democratic Republican Party. And in 1828, when Jackson was elected, he changed the name to the Democratic Party. So the main purpose of founding this party was to fight against the Federalists, who were willing to introduce monarchy in US, and people who were against formed that party and were ruled by Andrew Jackson. So and time as time kept going on, uh, people in the in the Democratic Republican Party had different ideas, and they again changed the name, and they called it only uh, Republican Party. And from that, people start to have different ideas. Some were for free trade, others were not for the free trade. So they started to split, and this is where the two parties were born. Like one 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 part of the party built another party, which is a Democratic, and the other was the Republican. So the two major parties were not so deeply divided until in the 1930s. That is where they were really divided. So today both parties agree in general on social security and unemployment insurance, basic foreign policy, and civil rights. And they are the main party that rules or have a big impact on the US government and in different decisions that are being taken in the government. So uh, I think that that's all about how the US government operates, and I believe that you have got enough information, and thank you for your attention.